Guys, it's Charlie, and I'm here with my little friend Molly. Molly, say hi. She's paying attention to something over there. I don't know what's over there. Molly, this is my mom's puppy. Molly, you want to say hi? She's gonna try and lick my face. Or the camera. Okay, so I am going to talk about what happened with my school. Actually, I mentioned it before. By the way, if I look naked, I'm not. I'm wearing a shirt. I'm wearing clothes. Okay, where do I start? Well, first off, I did mention what happened in a video. It started about 7 months ago. I transferred schools with the talk program, and the new school had given me issues, and I mentioned it in a video when I went to Thailand. I had an issue, a crazy issue with my visa, so I'm gonna go through that. I transferred schools. The school told me to come in and get my contract so that I can take it to the POE and have it stamped, and then to renew my visa for teaching. This happened in August. So they talked to me on the phone. They got to talk to my friend Minji, who was my translator. She called them to tell them the things that I needed, and she helped me out because, you know, like, I know some Korean, but I don't know like paperwork stuff. Helped getting my visa extended, and the school said, oh yeah, come on in. So a lot of people are trying to find out what happened with my school, and if you've been a subscriber for at least 8 months, then you probably have seen the video that I made while I was in Thailand. I will try and give you the story very quickly. Pretty much what happened: I lived in Korea for a year. I changed schools after the year, after my contract was up. Then I transferred to a new school for 6 months for my new 6-month contract. Before meeting the principal, I spoke with Minji. Minji is my closest friend, aside from Amy. I have many close friends in Korea, but Minji became one of my closest friends, and she was helping me to get a good amount of communication with my school, to get the correct paperwork. And she communicated with my school, and then my school wanted to know like little things about me, you know, like what am I like and all that. Minji told her like, oh, she's a vegetarian, she's very kind, she's very sweet. She also included that I'm black and all of that, so whatever, you know. She gave all of the little details about me that she thought they would be interested in knowing. Don't you love animals? They're so cute. They're like family. So she told her all the details, not all the details, but the little details about me, about my character and all of that stuff. And so they said, oh, okay, come in. And the person that she was talking to ended up, when I met her, ended up being my mentor teacher. And the mentor teacher is the person I would go to if I have any problems, if I have any questions. She's the person that I would go to like before I went to anyone higher. So she's pretty much the person, the go-to person, like before going to my principal or something. So they said, okay, come on in and sign the paperwork. And I guess my mentor teacher hadn't really spoken completely to my principal about all these details, because when I went in to meet the principal, what I was supposed to be doing when I met her and when I came to the school for the first time was I was supposed to be signing my contract. And when I arrived, I guess this is my personal experience and the way that I perceive things when I arrived from my experience is I arrived there, introduced myself to everyone, and met the principal. And when I arrived, she was just like, oh, we don't know anything about you, and we don't have the contract, and we need to talk to the office first. And it was kind of like, okay. So the mentor teacher spoke to Minji and myself multiple times before I arrived. They told me to come into the office to get my contract so I can get my visa extended. And now I'm here and now you're telling me that you can't give me the contract and you don't even have it. So why did I come to the school in the first place? So this was all like the situation because Minji had told them that I needed my contract and I needed to get it to the office to get my visa extended, because once my visa's up, like, I will be on a tourist visa. But for most people in Korea, if your visa expires, you need to leave the country in order to get it renewed, and you get a whole new visa once it's expired. But I'll tell you the rest of that, how it turned out later. But so I arrive and I'm telling them, and Minji had already told them that this is really, really important for me because my visa is going to be up and I really need this contract. And she's telling me, we don't have the contract, we need to talk to the talk office. And I'm like, why didn't you talk to the talk office before I came? Like, you didn't know about anything about me before I came. Why didn't you find out before I got here? Molly, she's a little hyper, so I have to keep her calm. Hi, Molly. Yes. So what happened? Molly, don't try and lick my face. Okay. Do you need some love? Okay. So upon arriving, I'm already feeling unwelcome, and she's telling me I can't get my contract, and then she's telling me they don't have the contract. And here I am sitting and looking straight at the computer, which is across from me, and I see something like talk, something contract, something of that nature, and I'm whispering over to Minji, they have the contract, like, it's on the computer. I can see it. It's in English. And they're telling me that they don't have the contract. Why are they holding out on my contract when they could have found out all these things that they are... It's like I arrived and then they're realizing, oh wait, we don't know anything about you. Like, didn't you not realize that before I got there? Okay, sorry if my hair is like a mess. It's been really windy. Hi, Molly. She's gonna sneak in and lick me. So guys, I'm back and it's a new day. I have on different clothes and Molly is not here to disturb me. So, by the way, this is going to be one of those long videos for those of you who are wondering, because I'm trying to get the whole story from beginning to end. But I will put in the description box the links to the other videos where I kind of explain this whole, well, not the whole story, but the beginning of it. I never really made any other videos continuing like what was going on, but I will tell you guys what happened from there. But first, I want to show you guys this really cute little mushroom that I found. It's so little. Little baby mushroom. Yeah, so, okay, so my school ended up making me sit in their office for about 3 hours. That same day that I went, I was with Minji and her mom, and they were helping me discuss the situation. Actually, Minji's mom had driven me to the school, and Minji came along with her, and they were very helpful. We sat in the office for like 2 to 3 hours discussing the situation, them telling me how they're not going to give me my contract, and I was there the same day that I had to renew my contract to get it done, or to extend my contract. They ended up not giving me the contract. I tried to find a way to get my old contract from my previous school to see if I could go to the office and extend it that way. It turned out my old school had accidentally given me the contract from the previous person. It didn't have my name on it. It had the name of the previous person who had been there. So it ended up that my visa had expired. I ended up going to Thailand. I'm actually wearing my Thailand shirt. It has like this huge elephant-like animal, and the animal is made up of a bunch of different beings with masks, and so yeah. That's beside the point. I ended up going to Thailand, and once you leave the country, when you go back in, you're automatically on a tourist visa, or I was on a tourist visa. because I didn't renew my contract at that day that I had been asking them to give me my contract or my visa. So when I got back from Thailand, I thought I was gonna have to go to Japan. I actually, while I was in Thailand, I was like kind of stressed because I was trying to actually renew my visa while I was there also, because I had been in contact with the talk program, like the headquarters and stuff, and they asked me that since I was on vacation in Thailand, I could probably go to the office and get my visa taken care of while I was out of Korea. But it turned out that it was a holiday and before I left I couldn't take care of it then because the offices were closed. So then I went back to Korea on a tourist visa, and I thought I was gonna have to go like to Japan to take care of it. And I know a lot of you are like, yay, you could have gone to Japan, but no, it was kind of like extra money, and it was like extra time, more of a stress thing than like, oh, I'm going to Japan. Plus, going to Japan and like even staying in Japan for like a few days is like really expensive. So it wasn't like the time that I would want to go, especially if it had to be taking care of a visa. So, but it turned out that it works out for the talk people because the talk program is one of the exceptions to the rule where you don't have to leave the country to take care of your visa. You just need some other paperwork from your school, and it ended up working out for me that I didn't have to leave Korea in order to get it taken care of. So that was a good thing. But once I got that taken care of, my school ended up giving me problems throughout my semester working with them. There's this thing called cultural money, and it's $100 a month that you're given extra to do cultural things within Korea. So you can take up taekwondo, you can take Korean lessons, you can do whatever you want that is culturally Korean and use that $100. They will reimburse you the money. So I ended up doing things each month and keeping the receipts, and like well, what the school had originally said was, oh, just fill out this form writing what you're doing, explaining what time it is, where you're going, how you're getting there, etc. So I did that, but then the first month that I tried to do that, my principal was like, oh, well, before you end up talking or discussing the cultural money, we need you to do a semester plan for teaching. So I was like, you know what, okay, I'll do that. Maybe they think that I'm just like, I'm here, like, let me get all my money, and I am, like, I mean, it's in my contract that I deserve this, so why am I not going to ask for it? So I was like, you know what, okay, I'll do a semester plan. At least then I can even go by it, to have a plan for the whole semester. So what I end up doing is writing out a plan for each week. Was it each week? I think it was each week or something like that, a plan for the whole semester. It was only 6 months, but 6 months, all the weeks in each month is, you know. So I did it by topic, and I did the topics that I would teach, the types of things I would do within each topic, and I turned it in. And they're like, okay. So then I turned in my cultural money and my cultural paperwork to receive my cultural money for that month. And then they were like, oh, well, before, I don't even remember the whole steps that they did. Like, every time I tried to turn in my cultural money, they created a new thing that they wanted me to do. So then when I turned in that cultural money thing, they were like, oh, well, before you do this, we need you to write a little essay or like a paragraph about your experience and what you learned on this cultural experience. So I was like, okay, like first you wanted me to turn in this paperwork, and then you wanted me to turn in like a whole semester's worth of teaching, and then now you want me to write a paragraph about my experience, and like what is next? So I sat down with the principal. I told her, okay, I'm here right now. Tell me exactly what you need from me, what you want from me, and what you expect from me, because every time I'm turning in something, you're asking me for something new. So I need you to tell me now what it is exactly you want from me, so that next time I won't have some new thing coming up. So she explained it to me, and I was like, okay. So I did what she expected of me, and then there was always something new. It became very frustrating trying to get what I deserved in my contract, because every single time I was trying to do get what I deserved, I was being asked something different. So that became a problem. I barely even got any of my month's cultural money. I even fought up until the end of my contract trying to get it. I even had issues with my health insurance. When I arrived, I told them oh, I need to make sure that I get my whether it's I need to know how you want me to be reimbursed for my health insurance. There's 2 different options for the talk program, and so they said, okay, we'll take care of it. But then I kept asking because a month would go by, and my contract's only 6 months for that school. So if a month goes by, that's a lot compared to the whole total of my contract. So a month would go by and I'd ask them about it, and they'd say, oh yeah, we're taking care of it, we're waiting for the POE or something like that. And so I would be okay, so I'd give them some time. But then it turns out 2 to 3 months later, which is half of my contract, that they didn't even really pursue finding information on how I'm supposed to be reimbursed. It was just sitting there, there was nothing being done. No one went to anyone higher to find out how I should be reimbursed or anything. The contract is supposed to be beneficial to you, but at the same time it works against you because the contract doesn't really specify every detail. So then that means that the school itself can kind of try and switch it on you, because when I got there was no bed in my apartment because I changed houses. What is in your house is supposed to stay there. So when I changed housing, there was no bed. And so in the contract it says that you are supposed to get furniture for your apartment, but it doesn't list this type of furniture. So it became an issue where I was trying to fight for my bed. I wanted a bed. I know you saw that I enjoy sleeping on the floor, but it's nice to have a bed, something to sit on. I don't want to sit on the floor all the time. I'm a student, I like to do homework. I didn't have a desk, I didn't have anything, so I ended up, it became to the point where I had to call the POE about getting a bed, because my school was oh well, we don't have enough money for you for a bed, and we have to come teach your students, but you're not going to give me a bed. Seriously? I ended up getting a bed through technically my own money. Koreans kind of see it as, well, why can't she sleep on the floor? A lot of Koreans sleep on the floor, and I do sleep on the floor. I enjoy sleeping on the floor, but that was beside the point. I ended up using my money for a bed, and I mean, $100 is good for a bed. It was a little twin bed that you guys saw in my place, but it became a difficult situation. Okay, I'm not even going to get into that, but another thing that happened was there was a national holiday. It was Chuseok, I think. For the national holidays, teachers don't have to work, and my school was telling me that I had to make up those hours, and I was like, no, I don't have to make up the hours. It's a national holiday. That's a paid holiday. And they're like, no, in order for us to pay you, you need to make up those hours. So I was like, I ended up making up the hours, and I ended up calling the POE. I asked them, do I actually need to make up these hours? It turned out that I was right. You don't have to work extra to make up the hours. It's a paid holiday. So the school ended up being like, oh, well, you know, you did work these hours, but now we don't have the money to reimburse you for those extra hours, because they turned into extra hours that I had worked. So they ended up giving me like hours off to make up for it, but it turned out like I still had to go to school. It was still a hassle, because instead of giving me like a full day off to make up the hours, they gave me like an hour off here. So instead of having 3 classes, I had 2 classes, or instead of having like 2 classes, I had 1 class, but I still had to come to school. So it was like a hassle. It was kind of like like, really, I don't know, it was just unnecessary hassle. And I feel like the school was trying to, or the principal was trying to make me go through extra work, and not really trying to be like, oh, you know, she's a guest and we need to like try and make sure, like I had to take it took me longer to get to school, taught me to teach the class pretty much. So pretty much I didn't even get to the whole situation with why I feel like they were giving me the runarounds. Pretty much my conclusion upon going through the whole situation with my contract and getting my contract, I had no other better reason to think that they were doing this because I am black. And I had never pulled this card on anyone before, and I had never felt like I was really being discriminated against until that moment. I have seen how people have used the skin color card for things that were really like, okay, no, you're just being lazy, like you don't want to do your job, and I've seen that. I've seen situations where that has happened, but I've also seen where people have really legitimately been discriminated against because of the color of their skin. And so I never wanted to be the one to like pull that and use it as an excuse, because I can see how many people have used it as an excuse. But for the first time in my life, I felt like I couldn't come to any other conclusion like besides that, because why would she call me to the school to get my contract, and then upon arrival they say, oh, we don't have the contract, we can't give you anything, and then I see the contract on the screen. Like, I don't see why, from them not seeing me, they don't see me at all, to saying, yes, come in, get your contract, and then upon arrival they say, oh, we don't have it. Like, that was the point of me coming to the school to pick it up. So that was an experience in itself. So I even, towards the end of my contract, sat down with my principal. I sat down with her, I looked her in the eye, and I said, I know that you don't like me. I said, I know that you are trying to make it hard for me to get the things that are in my contract, and to make my experience here really difficult. I really sat down and I told her that. I looked her in the eye and I told her, like, I know that you don't like me. And she denied it, but it doesn't matter that she denied it. It's like the proof is there. Like, actions speak louder than words, like, you know? So it turned out like she ended up like saying, no, it's not like that. And I'm like, yes, it is like that. Like, what other reason would you give me all these hassles? Like, no other talk scholar is having this issue. A lot of people even get their cultural money all at once without even turning anything in. I came all the way here to teach your students. I think I've like connected with your students, I've taught your students, I love your students, and I'm trying to do my job, but you're making every way possible for me to not be comfortable here. And I think that alone, like, she probably called the talk office and told them like, oh, we don't want her to be extended or whatever, because it's not the Korean way to like confront anyone like that face to face. It's more of like I would say the Korean way is more to just go along with everything. I will talk about this in another video with my experience of just being hush and going along with like, okay, if you say so, that's how it is, I will do whatever you say because you're the boss kind of thing. And I think, you know, as being from America, I'm in the mindset of, no, it's in my contract that I deserve this, that I am owed this, so I'm going to get everything I can I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I get this. I forgot another thing. Also, the principal, I would always, it's Korean culture to go in to say hi to the principal when you first start school. And every time I would go, you could feel this coldness about her and this like wall that she had, and it was kind of like me going in and saying hi, and then like she's like kind of like well, from my experience from my last school, when I would go in to say hi to my principal, he had a smile and he was like, hello, and it was kind of like, oh, like, I'm happy to see you kind of thing. Her, it's kind of like, why, the look and the feeling that I get is like, why did you even bother to come say hi to me? Like, I don't even want to say hi back. That was the kind of feeling that I got. And one time I went into school, and the principal and the vice principal was very calm, and he was very nice, and he was very quiet, but I can feel his like presence, I guess, and I felt more of a peace about him. But with her, it was this anger, like this, I want to say like evilness about her, that I could feel. And so one day I was I was walking into school. The vice principal and the principal were standing outside. I walked in and said hello in Korean, and only the vice principal said hi, and she walked away as if she never even saw me. She didn't even say hi. I ended up not even going in to say hi anymore. And a lot of people were like, oh no, you should have, you probably should have just kept doing it. And I'm like, no, I know that's the Korean way, is to put on a happy face and go in and say hi. I stopped it. Like, I did it maybe 5-6 times. Well, in the beginning I did it every day, but then I slowly trickled down to not doing it at all, because I was like, okay, I'm going in happily to see these students that I love, that make me so happy, and then like once I get there, the first thing I'm supposed to do is go in and say hi to you, and that's the first thing, you're the first person I'm seeing when I walk into the door, or walk into your office. So you put me in a horrible mood, like, from then on. So I'm just gonna skip that step and see my students, So I could just feel her, I want to say, hate towards me. I could feel it, and so that was another aspect of my experience. I think that there was nothing I could have done, because she had decided upon my arrival that she didn't like me. I think that if I had fought more once I found out that I didn't get extended, if I had talked to the POE, if I had like tried to do something more, I could have stayed in Korea, but my heart was no longer there. I kind of saw after my year of being there that maybe 3 months into my contract, of my new contract, I saw that it was time to kind of venture to another place. I also went through a lot of changes in Korea, which you probably guys saw in my videos, and I think that being here home is a good idea for a few months. Well, not like months. Like, I recognized early on the importance of reassessing, figuring out what changes are gonna stay and what changes are gonna like go. Pretty much a lot of my changes have stayed. Like, I see the world differently now that I've been away from my world, and the sun is set. It's so beautiful. Can you guys see? Oh no, you guys can't see, but I'm not at a park. I don't even know where I'm going with this. A lot of people ask, couldn't you have stayed in Korea longer? And my answer is yes. I could have stayed in Korea longer. I could have even let my contract end and just stayed there 3 months more on a tourist visa. I could have talked to the POE. I could have asked them, actually, when I reapplied, I asked to change schools, and I explained why. I could have looked for another job with another program. I could have found another job that was not even teaching. A lot of different things, but I didn't have the heart to stay in Korea any longer than I did. I saw, one of my things, and actually that's one of the reasons why I wear this ring, is my intuition, understanding my intuition, listening to my intuition. And I saw early on that some changes were going to happen, and that there was a need for that. And I didn't really feel this desire, this passion to stay in Korea. I feel the passion and the need and the desire first to reassess where I am right now, to come home, to touch base, and then to figure out where I want to go next. There's so many beautiful places in the world, and so many people get caught up in Korea, K-pop, K-pop, K-pop. I never really liked K-pop. I mean, I like K-pop, but not like that. But I mentioned this before. People get stuck in this Korea thing, and Korea is great. I learned so many things in Korea. I love Korea. I feel like I have this heart like for Korea, and like I learned so many things in Korea. The experience that I had in Korea allowed me to figure out who I want to create myself into. And it was kind of like this realization. This video is going a whole nother direction. Let's just keep on track. I'll talk about that in another video. But pretty much, no, I did not. I could have stayed in Korea. No, I did not want to. So that's pretty much what happened. A lot of change that happened with me in Korea, and it's change that I'm accepting and that I'm welcoming in, and that I want. And so Korea was a very good experience for me. I will talk about balance in another video, but what I can say here is that year that I was there for a year and a half, but the first year that I was there was like this whole new like happiness, like this really, really happy place. And then the last 6 months became this, like, I would say dark, but the way you guys might imagine that I'm saying dark is not the dark that I'm talking about. But there was like a balance of like this happy 1 year of like joy, discovery, and then there became this 6 months of dark, like, you know, my first school was great and like so amazing, and then my second school was like not. And so like I got this whole outlook on like balance and recognizing how my experience in Korea was about balance and balancing the experience of everything, and how like I couldn't go to Korea and have just this amazing experience. Like that wasn't what my Korea was about. My Korea was about the balance. And that's pretty much a lot. I guess my 2 words from being in Korea is experience and balance. And so that's kind of what I took from it, and I really appreciate that experience. And I'll talk about the whole balance thing another video, but that's pretty much what went on in Korea. That's not pretty much, but that's like, I'll say in a nutshell with teaching. And man, I learned so much. I can't even like express how much I learned, and it's not really just about learning, but about experiencing. And oh my gosh, like I don't even know, I need to turn this video off. But pretty much in a nutshell, that's pretty much what it was about. And I'm sorry for those of you who hate long videos, but at the same time I'm not sorry, because I like talking and I like making long videos. But that's pretty much what it's about, or what it was. And I will talk more about being home later, and about changes that have gone on in my life and all of that later. So thank you guys for watching and listening to me ramble, and I will see you guys later. Bye.